Alright, I'm going to show you how I solder my Batman necklaces. First, I take the posts and put flux on them, and I put flux on the back plate itself. After setting them where I need them to be to line up with the top plate, I take solder. You can really use any kind. I use medium or hard solder, and place it next to every single post very carefully because all this is loose. This took a lot of practice and patience to get done properly. Touching the silver solder to the post is very difficult to do without moving them, and all of this needs to be precise so it fits with the top plate that goes onto this. Now you're going to want a torch. I use the oxygen acetylene torch. It's a lot hotter and I can get more precise with where I'm heating, but you can also use a cheap propane torch that you can get just about anywhere. Now you're going to need to heat the entire piece. I do this very slowly. So this video that you're watching right now is about 2 times faster than normal. What you want to do is heat everything equally so the solder will flow and the piece won't melt or get too hot in some spots and other spots be completely cool, well, relatively cool. So you can also heat it from underneath, which will heat the bottom plate, which is a bigger area than the post, because the post will melt sooner than the plate will. However you end up doing it, when you see the solder starting to flow, make sure you heat that area and the post at the same time. Next, quench the piece and put it in some pickling solution. Make sure to check to see if all the posts have been soldered. If they haven't, go back over it after it's been clean, reflux the whole thing, and restart the process again with the new pieces. So for the 3 posts of mine that didn't solder properly, it's because the piece wasn't fluxed properly in those spots. So when this happens, just clean the piece off again in a pickling solution and reapply flux on the whole thing and all the pieces you're using and the solder, and then just try again. The reason a lot of times that it doesn't flow properly is the piece has to be cleaned. If there's oil on it or if it has any type of oxidation, the solder will have a harder time flowing and sticking to where you want it to go. Or if one of your pieces is a little too far away and it spreads out, it just will stay wherever it pooled. If you don't heat both pieces to the same temperature, the solder will stick to whatever one is hotter. When you're heating it, some of the pieces can move around due to the flux bubbling up or just the heat hitting it. So if it does do that, use some tweezers or a solder pick and just kind of push the piece back or hold it as you melt the solder, and then it'll flatten itself back out. So after all that and some more work, you end up with this. If you'd like to see how I do more of this, let me know in the comments. Well, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.